I get excited every time this happens. My patient, Rob Jones, he did it again. He sent me what I call Rob's Research, one of those incredible studies that makes you stop, take a second look, and you just say, wait, what? This one is a game changer, and it's about to change the way you think about your next workout. What if I told you that your next workout could be one of the most important things you do all week? Not just for your abs, not for your ego, but for your survival. What if I told you that groundbreaking research shows that a single intense session of exercise can program your body to suppress the growth of cancer cells? Yep, you heard me right, from one workout. Now, before we get into this, let's get to the formalities. I'm Dr. Ray. I am a health professional, but this is my personal opinion, and it is for the education and entertainment purposes only. This isn't medical advice. In fact, my goal today is really to light a fire under you based on real published science. And this is critical. As we talked about this last week, the world is trying to sell you shortcuts that are actually setting you up for failure. What do I mean by that? Last week I exposed how those so-called miracle weight loss drugs, the ones that I call the needle nightmares, the Ozempics and these GLP-1s, they can strip away up to 40% of your vital muscle mass. That was from one of the research studies. That leaves you weaker and it leaves you less healthy. But today, we're talking about why protecting that muscle isn't just a defensive move. It may be your ultimate offensive weapon. Let's get into the revolution. Okay, let's get right into the science because this should shake you to your very core. The study Rob sent me, it's hot off the press, published it was just published, 2025, July, from researchers at Edith Cowan University in Australia. And let me see if let me bring up this study on the screen here. All right. And you can see this is a single bout of resistance or high-intensity interval training, increases anti-cancer myokines, and suppresses cancer cell growth in vitro in survivors of breast cancer. So, get this. When you understand what this means, they took 10 healthy, recreationally active women and had them do one single 30-minute session of a very high-intensity interval exercise, just one. Before and after the workout, they took their blood. What they did was they spun it down into a serum, and they applied that, we'll call it exercise supercharged serum, directly onto living breast cancer cells in a lab. And what was the result? Well, the serum from after the workout significantly suppressed the growth of those cancer cells. In fact, it reduced their viability. And let me translate what that means. So the women's own blood, supercharged by exercise, became a less hospitable environment for cancer. I mean, this is tremendous when you think about this. This isn't a pill. This is your body creating its own powerful cancer-fighting medicine in real time. The researchers call it what it is. They called it medicine in motion. The secret ingredient is a word that you need to know, you need to love, you need to chase. It's called myokines. All right? When you work your muscles, when you push, pull, sweat, your muscles aren't silent. They are an endocrine organ, and they scream out, and they're releasing these incredible warrior proteins called myokines. See, these myokines, they flood your system, and they go to war for you. So they're reducing inflammation, they're improving your immune function, and as we're seeing from this, they're sending a direct signal to cancer cells to say, back off. Now, for anyone thinking, okay, that's one study on breast cancer cells. Let me be crystal clear. This isn't a fluke. This evidence is an avalanche, and it's undeniable. This same research group from Edith Cowan University did a similar study back in 22 with men who had advanced stage prostate cancer. And the results were just as stunning. All right. This is absolutely phenomenal. What they found was, so they found that a single bout of exercise created a serum that suppressed prostate cancer cells. Oh, wait, they found that after 12 weeks of exercise, it suppressed prostate cancer cell. And the proof is overwhelming. But how is that? Let's go deeper. Over at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden, researchers gave us a huge piece of this puzzle, because what they found was that, and this is a cytotoxic T cells mediate exercise-induced reductions in tumor cells. Okay, they found that in mice, exercise slows down the cancer growth by changing the metabolism of the immune system's cytotoxic T cells. You can think of them as your body's special forces, basically. So exercise makes these special forces T cells more effective assassins. So when they took those T cells away, the anti-cancer effect of the exercise vanished. So the proof was right there. They said the exercise supercharges your immune system's frontline soldiers. All right. So you want more? So another study went even deeper and identified the exact cause of what happens here. All right. They identified these anti-cancer genes that exercise actually turns on. It flips them on. And this is high intensity aerobic exercises suppress cancer growth by regulating skeletal muscle-derived oncogenes and tumor suppressors. So what they did was that they found that the high-intensity exercise activates genes with names like TRIM63, FOS. This is your body's own genetic code to shut down cancer cell proliferation. I mean, let me ask you, are you connecting the dots yet? We have myokines flooding your system, supercharged T cells on the hunt, and your own anti-cancer genes being activated. This is a full-scale coordinated military assault on disease orchestrated by you, by your body. See, the world is pushing, all these shortcuts that are changing your body. They're actually destroying your body's natural pharmacy. In this case, just like we talked about how GLP-1s, that when you lose in the weight, you can lose up to 40% of that weight could be muscle. So in this case, your body's natural pharmacy is your muscle. And at the same time, we have undeniable proof that using that exact same muscle now turns it into a life-saving production facility. I mean, it's insane. And it's why our approach is so fundamentally different. It's why with Food Pharmacy, we focus on fueling the body correctly, and why with wellnesstechnologies.ai, we track and build your lean muscle mass, because we know your muscle isn't just for show, it's your engine, it's your armor, and now what do we learn? It's your pharmacy. So what does this mean for you right now, today? It means your workout isn't a chore, it's not a punishment, it is a non-negotiable act of self-preservation. It is you personally mixing up a cocktail of life-saving medicine and then deploying it into your own bloodstream. Every rep is an act of defiance. Every squat, every sprint, every push-up is you looking any rogue cell in the eye and say, hey, not in my house. I mean, think about how much power that gives you. In a world where we feel so powerless against diseases, you're not a victim. You're a fighter, and your gym is your weapons factory. So the next time you feel that wave of, I don't want to do this, I want you to remember what the science says. Remember the supercharged T cells. Remember the anti-cancer genes. Remember that your own blood can become a cancer suppressor. So are you too tired to activate your own internal pharmacy? Are you too busy to go to war for your own health? I didn't think so. It's time to change the conversation from just losing weight to gaining strength, because your strength is your health. Now go after it. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, Let's take back control of your health. Boom! We are unleashing a health revolution with food pharmacy and wellness technologies.ai.